Let's talk about breathing. Do you practice breathing? Have you ever thought about breathing? Or is it so natural to you that it just kind of happens? As wind players, we have to be very conscious of how we breathe, what kind of air we breathe in, because air is sort of like gasoline in a car for us, because the quality of the air really does affect the quality of sound that we produce. So when I was in high school, I was in a very great band program in Texas, and every morning our band director would make us stand up and practice breathing. And the breathing exercises would go like this: 4 beats by 4 beats. In for 4, out for 4. And for 4 counts, we would breathe in, but we would pace our breathing. So first beat, we would fill up 25% of our lung capacity. Second beat, 50, then 75, then a full tank of air in. Right after that, we would learn to breathe out, but not just emptying our tank, but also pacing our outflow for 4 beats. And we would do that for 15, 20, sometimes for 30 minutes every day until we were so lightheaded because of all the air that we were taking in. I hated doing it. Breathing was the most boring part of the band class, but I had to do that for 4 years. But recently I realized that breathing is more important than I thought. I actually sound better when I take in a full tank of air compared to just like 20-30%, even though I only need 20 or 30% intake to play. So that made me think, why is it that a full tank of air always sounds better than 50% full tank of air? In my opinion, not scientific whatsoever, but in my opinion, when you breathe in much more than you need to play or make a sound, the outflow of air naturally happens, and your support, your diaphragm, and all the muscles that you use to play the instrument, it helps the outflow come out naturally. However, when you breathe in just enough air to play, for example, 30-40% of air, you're having to work to bring out the air to play, which makes your body more tense, and in the long run, you are having to work harder to produce sound. After thinking about that, I applied it to my fundamentals and practicing and everything, and almost every single time when I took in a full tank of air to play, I made a better sound and a better phrase. So is it easy to breathe in air, more air than you need? Of course it is. But it is very difficult in a way because my body does not want to work harder than it needs to. When I'm practicing breathing, of course, I am very conscious of how I'm taking in air, how much I'm taking in, and I feel great after playing long tones, scales, and all the fundamental stuff. But once I stop thinking about it, once I stop practicing the things that I lack, my brain, my body just shuts down and goes straight back to how I used to play. And I start to have the same problems again. So what do we have to do to overcome this? I believe that we just have to keep pushing our bodies to our limits so that the limit of yesterday becomes sort of the norm of today. Practicing never ends. Even if you feel great about your performance, you go back to the practice room and start all over every single day. I encourage and recommend that you go to your practice room and start your warm-ups with breathing. I'll end with this. Whenever I start my practice sessions, I have to start by soaking up 1, 2, or 3 of my oboe reeds, and that takes about 3 to 4 minutes. My goal is to use those 3 to 4 minutes, not on the phone, and use those couple minutes to gather myself and practice breathing. That's sort of my goal for this week. So hopefully this video was helpful to you, and if it was, and if you have any questions, please do leave something in the comment section asking me about breathing or anything music related. Thanks and goodbye.